All right, there we go. It is the end of May here, almost halfway through the year. It's crazy to think about that. Anyway, I got to tell you guys, I have been having so much fun with Kartra. It is awesome. Uh, I keep getting into it deeper and deeper, and I just keep liking it more and more. I came across only so far one issue that hasn't really been an issue now that I got their support involved. And that issue was some of the people that were actually buying through there. We've actually been selling acts now through Kartra. And a few of the people that actually purchased were flagged as being blacklisted for sending mail. So they couldn't actually get the login information. When they went to, create their passwords and stuff, they were not receiving the email because the system wasn't sending the emails to them because they were on bad reputation IPs. Simple solution to that, you just put in a support ticket and they will whitelist those addresses for you. But that's really, and out of the whole time I've used it so far, I've only had an issue like that with 2 people. So that's been a pretty good thing. Other than that, it's great. It makes great looking pages on mobile, and that's been a big concern for a lot of people. And for me, just the whole integration of everything, integrating your videos, integrating your calls to action, integrating your sales pages, integrating your mailing list, all in one program, that it all just like clicks together so easily. Really, really an impressive product. So anyway, let's open it up for you guys. Any questions or anything? Go ahead, Cheryl.
That you like Kartra. Are you saying that you're giving up Clickfunnels?
Yes, I have actually canceled my Clickfunnels account.
Oh, so Kartra better.
I will never even consider Clickfunnels again.
Because Kartra is so much better because you're mad at Clickfunnels.
No, I was not mad at Clickfunnels at all. I think Clickfunnels is actually a great program for what it is. It's just not a complete solution.
Oh.
And for me, I would prefer to deal with a complete solution. And that's what I've been looking for a very long time. I love the idea of what Infusion Soft does, but it's way too complicated. It's not a complete solution. And from what I've seen, Kartra is what Clickfunnels wanted to be.
Oh.
So it's like I am totally sold on it. And I'm usually pretty hard to sell on that kind of stuff.
Now I already have a URL in Bluehost, and I'm paying some $100 to WordPress for something or another. I'm not really sure. So what should I do? What would be a better solution? I'm not going to say what should I do. How about what would be a better solution? Can I get out of Bluehost and WordPress and go over to Kartra, or how does it?
Sure, absolutely. You can do any number of different ways to do that. Kartra actually is a hosting solution for you. So if you want to host your entire site and your whole thing on there, you can just point your domain over to them and then they'll host it for you. So
and
you can.
You do that in Bluehost or in Kartra?
Well, did you register your domain through Bluehost?
Yeah.
Okay, so you would do it in there. You would go into your domain registration settings, and then you could point that to Kartra.
Okay.
And then Kartra basically would be your web-hosted solution.
Move it away from Bluehost and into all one solution. I still have to have Bluehost.
Well, you see, there's 2 different things in having a website online. You have a registration. You have a domain registrar where you register and you pay yearly to have the domain name.
Right. That's cool.
And then you have a hosting account. So sometimes they're at the same place. Like GoDaddy is a domain registrar, and they also host websites. So I believe Bluehost is the same thing. So it doesn't mean that you have to have them both at the same place. It's just you have to have a registrar somewhere where you register and pay for the domain, and then basically in the settings there, they call it the name servers. They basically have a setting there where you point it to where your site is hosted.
Name server.
So that's you know, that's something I can help you with, because I'm going to do Kartra calls. I'm going to do specific Kartra calls for anybody that gets into Kartra, just because I've been using it so much, and I'm really getting to know it very well. And I'm happy to help you guys to get up and running with it. So we'll do extra calls, and you know, if you're stuck on any particular thing, we'll just get in there and fix it for you. So pretty cool stuff. If you guys want to see an example of what Kartra is capable of, or you know, and again, I'm not using it to its maximum extent yet. I'm just getting my feet wet into it, and I just absolutely love it. But if you look at my homepage on internetdominators.com, in fact, I'll share the screen so you guys can all see what I've accomplished here in just a very short time, because it's really pretty cool. Okay, so you guys can see my screen here. I have not switched over to have Kartra host my site. I have my site still hosted on my own server, but what I've done is I've taken the code and I've put it onto I've basically replaced my home page with the Kartra code. So all of this is being generated from Kartra. So what I did, I put a video here. The video basically is talking about this Elvis shift, which is, this is my new angle to promoting the ACT program, is selling it as an Elvis shift. And I basically talk about in here the shift that Elvis made that turned him from a struggling musician into the king of rock and roll. And I relate that to the ACT program and getting your message right and doing that same thing for your business. So that's the way that I'm marketing the ACT program here through this. So there's a video here, and at the end of the video,
an unfair advantage that could have a massive positive impact.
Let me kill the sound there. But on the end of the video, let's see here. Let me run the end of the video out here. When you get to the end, it actually has an opt-in right inside the video. So see here, so how it goes right to the opt-in, get the Elvis shift, see the free video. That's pretty cool to have an opt-in actually show up as part of your video. And the other thing, it's GDPR compliant right out of the gate. So you don't have to worry about that. It'll add the right things in the forms for you. It will force them to agree with your terms of service. And you cannot click the submit until you do that. So that's a pretty cool deal right there. So if you say, you know, you click here, I'm not from the EU, and now I agree to the service, now you see the submit button is lit, and you can actually click on it. So I'm not going to do that yet. I'm just going to go down this entire page. I've recreated my entire page here in Kartra. So
you had to recreate it?
All of this is all Kartra. I made this entire page in Kartra.
But you had to redo it? You couldn't just transfer it?
No, I had to recreate it, you know, in the Kartra templates, but it was really easy to do. I mean, a lot of it I just cut and pasted in. But now I click on this button here, and basically that takes me to the page where it's going to actually give them the Elvis shift video, and it's got attached a sales page with the Get Act Now that takes them to the shopping cart. And again, this is all Kartra. So it's all built in, it's all one piece, it all works completely seamlessly. And I am pretty much digging this. You know, this is stuff where I had to get other tech people to do all this stuff for me before and connect it all together and, you know, hope it worked. And, you know, if it didn't work, then I didn't know where I was. And inside Kartra, it just makes this so easy. So like here, this is actually in Kartra where you're building this out. And see, everything that you roll over, it gives you an option to edit it. Like this is an image. So if I want to edit, I just click the little pencil button and it allows me to change the image out. I can upload an image. Really simple. It's pretty much point and click. Same thing with text. If I want to change the text, I just click the text button and I have a text editor here. You know, I can do anything I want. I can make it bold, I can make it italics. The other cool thing about this too is it allows you to put shadows under text so you can stylize your text right inside here. So it's really, really cool. And then if you did something that you say, oh, I don't really like that, you just hit the undo button and then it undid the text edit I just did right there. So it's very, very friendly, and everything is like little pieces. You see, as I roll over stuff, I get the edit buttons for each thing. Like this is an icon right here. So if I want to change that, if I want to add a link to it, I can put a custom URL and I just paste the link in there. So it's really cool. But say I wanted to connect that link to another Kartra page or pop in for an opt-in form. I could pop up a video player. It's really really pretty cool.
So you think that just people like me could create web pages and stuff?
Yeah, absolutely. Because let me show you how easy it is to create a page. So I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to go back to my dashboard. Guess I got to log back in. That's one thing about this. It makes you log in a lot because of security. So I'm on the Pages tab here. And to create a new page, I just click on plus. So I want to add a page. And basically, I can either start from scratch and click the Launch Builder, or I can go over here and I can say, what kind of page do I want? Do I want a thank you page? Do I want a squeeze page?
What's a squeeze page?
A squeeze page is like an opt-in page. That's to collect someone's email address. Or I can go to My Templates. So if I click on My Templates, I've created a template now for my own website. So every time I want to create a page, I can do it based on the template where it's already got my header and my footer, and I just plug in the center contents.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, it's really neat. Anything you make, you can save it as templates too. Like let's say you wanted to create a webinar registration page. You click here and it gives you a bunch of template examples. So if you wanted one with a timer, you know, you could select that one. And then basically now that it's selected, you launch the builder. You have to name it. I'll name it test, and then you can put it under a category so you can keep all your pages categorized. So I'll just add this as no particular category. And next it's gonna launch the builder. So now that the builder is up, I can go in here and I can start editing things. So whatever I want to edit, I just click the edit button and it pops up the window over here to start editing stuff. Yeah, if I want to edit the text, I click the text button and I can put my headline in here. The timer, if you click edit on the timer, you can basically set a date where this is going to expire. You can set a time, and then if it gets to 0, you can actually have it redirect to anywhere you want it to go. You can send it to another Kartra page, or you can send it to a regular URL. It's everything in here is point and click. You don't have to know how to code any of this stuff. It like gives you all the pieces and easy dashboards where you just fill in the blanks and tell it what you want it to do. So you can do the same thing in Infusionsoft if you've got the next 6 months and enough hair to pull out.
Yeah.
But it's really just an awesome program what they've done here. So like on your buttons, you know, you can link it, and then here you can link it to another Kartra page. You can link it to, you know, a webinar registration form, which is probably what you would want to do there. You know, and then it's going to ask you, you know, do you want to link it up to Webinar Jam or EverWebinar, which those are the two that I have configured for my webinar software. And it just wants to know which one do you want to hook it to. And then it goes over and it connects it to that webinar software, and it's all done in the background, all seamlessly. So pretty cool stuff.
Yeah.
So John, if you were going to build a new website, are there templates to build the new website?
There are templates for pages. It doesn't necessarily have like a website template, because it doesn't really have any idea what kind of websites you want, but it has templates for all the different types of pages. Now, I will show you this in the memberships. This actually is a template for a website, like for a membership site. And I've recreated the ACT program in here. So you can create an entire membership site in here, and I'll show you what I've done. I've created the ACT membership inside Kartra. So I basically just reproduced what I already had, and you can check it out here. Actually, I don't have to go through all of this. This is just the steps. It basically walks you through everything. And you know, you can set up a help desk with it, which I've got that plugged into it as well. Let me go back here and I'll see if I can.
So I just found someone to redo my Volusion site.
Okay.
And it looks to me like if I switched over to this, now I'm starting yet over again and saying, oh, go do it this other way.
That's correct.
Or figure out how to do it this other way.
That is correct. Like if you're going to switch platforms, that's a big decision. So you've got to look at, you know, what this would do for you as opposed to what the other one that you're currently in would do for you. Now, I know, you know, you're in a situation where you've got a very old, outdated site based on an old version of the software. So if you want to stick with that and you want to update, you know, and just bring it up to speed, that's certainly one way you could go. I can almost guarantee you that Volusion is not going to have near the marketing functionality and capability of what Kartra is. Now, on the other hand, I can assure you that Kartra is not going to have the shopping cart functionality that Volusion does. So you've got to kind of look at, you might want to use both.
So how do you use both?
Well, the way that you would use both is you could create all of your marketing materials inside Kartra. You could create your mailing list inside Kartra. You could do, you know, all of your ad campaigns and things through Kartra and just send everybody over to your main site for your actual ordering. You know, you can put your order buttons into your Kartra pages. But when you're using Kartra, it allows you to tag people based on what they did. It allows you to put them into follow-up sequences and change the sequence based on their activity. Like you could have a sequence where they go in, they're added to the sequence, and let's say you want them to watch 2 videos and then go to your sales page, and you don't want them to go to the sales page until they've watched the 2 videos. And in the real world, the reason for this would be if you went onto a car lot and you asked the salesperson, you know, what's the price of this car? He's not going to tell you the price of the car till he's built the value. So that's the same thing. You want them to have enough understanding about what they're buying before you reveal the price. So you build the value to outweigh the, you know, the price. So let's say that was the case and you had 2 videos you wanted them to watch before they went to the sales page and saw the price. So in the first sequence of or first email of the sequence, you would send them the video link. Kartra will know if they opened the email. It will also know if they watched the video. If they didn't do either, it will send them the same email again. If they open the video or they open the email but they don't watch the video, it can send them a follow-up email saying, hey, we noticed that you opened the email but you didn't watch the video, so here's the link again, you really need to check this out. Let's say they start watching the video and the phone rings halfway through and they get distracted and they turn it off and they close the browser and they leave and they forget about it. Kartra knows that. So Kartra can send them a follow-up email and says, hey, we noticed that you stopped watching it, you know, at the halfway mark. Here's a link to start the video right where you left off. That's pretty darn cool. So, and from a user experience, how cool would that be for your users, for you to be able to allow them that kind of service? You know, to let them start the video right where they left off instead of having to watch the first 20 minutes again.
Yeah.
It's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And then once they watch that video to completion, Kartra knows, so it will send them now the follow-up sequence of, hey, here's the congratulations for watching the first video. Here's the second video. This one's really important, and after this, we're going to allow you to actually become part of the program. So for them to even get to where they can get the access to become part of the program, they know they have to watch the second video. And again, same thing. Say they watch it halfway and get a phone call or get distracted, Kartra knows, and it will, you know, and again, you have to set those sequences up, but it's literally point and click. It's so much easier than Infusion Soft was. It's crazy, and it's all within your control panel here. You know, it's right.
Conversions if the conversion comes through the website. Is that right?
Yeah, now Kartra can follow conversions as long as you put certain codes and elements of Kartra into your website, into your pages.
Okay.
Like you can take your, you can have an opt-in form on your website that's a Kartra opt-in form.
Okay.
So people could literally go to your existing website and opt into your marketing campaign into Kartra right from your website. You can put videos on there where, you know, they know if they've watched the videos. A tremendous amount of things where Kartra literally integrates into your site just as easily as if you were using it as a full solution.
Okay, so it really does sort of encompass my website. My website does the shopping part, part, and it does, essentially, it can do everything else for me.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So if somebody came, would somebody enter the website? How do I get them so for people that come on, hold on just a second, they're trying to get me from my car. If somebody came to the website, how do I make sure that they are on the on my mailing list or they are a customer? That at that point they come in, and some people just seem to sign up for an email list that they don't get anything. But if they're a customer, then I would absolutely need them to be in Kartra as well. Do I have to manually change them, or can Kartra say, ooh, I want a copy of that too?
Well, if they come in through your Volusion shopping cart, I don't know that Kartra has an integration with Volusion yet.
Okay.
Let me take a look. I'll see. Now, I know they have one with AWeber, so I can connect my AWeber shopping cart to it. They have Kajabi.
No.
I don't see an integration for Volusion here yet. Doesn't mean that they may not have one eventually. You know, that's something you might throw out for them. If they've got enough requests for it, I'm sure they'll have it integrated in. You can also do direct API integration. So, you know, you might be able to hire somebody that might be able to do the integration for you as a custom integration.
Okay.
If and I'm pretty sure Volusion has API hooks into it. So you know, that would be beyond my capabilities as tech, but Kartra does allow for you to connect to your own APIs.
Okay.
So this can probably be done.
Okay. Well, I think I finally found somebody that's capable of doing something like that, but we'll see.
Okay. Well, yeah, I would check into that, because that would be very cool if you could connect the two, because then you could put tags on all of your customers based on what they purchased.
Okay.
You know, so you could literally segment them inside your you know, inside your marketing program. And you could basically send follow-up email sequences based on what they purchased and what type of customer they are, and you could lead them to all kinds of other products as well.
Okay.
So
to begin with, what would I do? Upload my database to Kartra? Because I mean, it'll take a month if I start down that road.
Yeah, if you go into campaigns, basically it gives you your lists, your leads, and your tags.
Okay.
So a list is literally a database list. Like you can see, I have 97 people that have opted in to my Internet Dominators list so far. And that's a list. Now I can take those people and I can tag them. I can put different tags based on their actions. Like if they become a free member, 65 of them are tagged as free members.
Okay.
So I can tag them as Elvis opt-ins. As soon as I activate that, then they'll start getting tagged because they've opted into the Elvis sequence. I've got some where I'm offering Kartra support. So again, that's a tag that they get tagged with. So I know, you know, when they come through, I know what they're interested in and what they're doing in the system, and I can communicate with them like that. So leads, here's where all of your people are. These are where your actual leads are, and then you can get in there and see information about what lists they're, like this one's the Elvis opt-in and the Internet Dominators, and they've got 2 tags. So I can see a lot of data about my list. And then when you go to campaigns, this is where you set up broadcasts where you can actually send emails out to your different lists. And I talked about sequences. This is where you can set up sequences. You can set up automations. And this is some pretty cool stuff. Like let's say we want to set up a sequence. I'll just call this test, just so you can see how easy it is to set up a sequence. Okay, so it's basically, here's your starting point, and this might, to some of you that are familiar with Infusionsoft, this might look kind of similar because they have a similar type of tool in there, just not near as easy. Let's say we want to start with you know, with sending an email. We basically just drop that over, and now it's going to go through. Do we want to delay this email or do we want to send it immediately? You know, so we don't want to delay it. We want to send it immediately. And then, are there any days of the week you don't want these emails sent? No, we want it sent whatever day they come in. And then, do we want to communicate with them? You know, the name of the broadcast. So we would set up a broadcast. And then here you set up how you want to send it. Like I'm using the Kartra mail, so I'm just going to use my Kartra mail gateway. And then recipients, who do we want to send this to? Anyone reaching this step? If they've opened an email, if the email has not been opened, basically it gives you all these options of who you want to receive this email. So we'll just say anyone reaching this step. And then we want to include the GDPR notice. Yes, we definitely want to do that. And now we can add it. So we just added anyone reaching this step that they're going to get this email. Next, we can decide, is this a single email or do we want to split test it? So let's just do single email. And then now the contents of the email. You just write or copy and paste your email in here. I'll just put something in here so we can move on to the next step. And then here's automation. Do you want to add automation to this? And this is basically an if-then. So you can say if the lead opens this email, then what do you want to do? Do you want to subscribe them to a new list because they opened the email? Do you want to assign a tag? Do you want to subscribe them to another sequence? Do you want to take them out of this sequence? So like if they purchase a product, you can say, you know, you can assign a tag, so you can say, okay, if they are assigned this tag, we want to remove them from this other sequence because we don't want them to receive the promotional emails anymore. We want to add them to a new sequence. Now they're a customer. So you can see the power of this. This thing is really, really cool and really easy to use. You're literally pointing and clicking and say, if this, then I want to do that. That's all there is to it. There's no coding. There's no, you know, there's no tech skills required for this. Pretty neat stuff. And then that one is created. So now you see that that one is sitting under there. And it's inactive. So basically, we just have to activate it. So now you see immediately after, it's going to send this test email. So you can add another one, like let's say it sends this one immediately. Let's say you want to add another one, and you know, you can basically do any of these, or you can go back here and you can add another one of these guys. It just starts the process over, and you can connect them, and it's all literally just drag and drop.
So if you wanted to sell something on that email, how would you do that? Can you add just a product so that you just say, I just want to run a quick test and sell a product just strictly inside Kartra, and I don't want to put it with the website. I just want to test this.
Sure, absolutely. In the email, you would just put a link to your product page or your sales page. Or you could put a link, you know, to a buy button.
Okay.
And basically with that, you would just go over to products. And again, whatever you're on here, whether it's a product, a campaign, a page, a form, you just click the add button. And you can say, is this a main product or an upsell or a downsell? And again, it just walks you through. It's like a question. You know, it's like filling out a questionnaire, and at the end of it, you got a product built. See, it asks you basic info, name of the product, is this publicly available? And what this is doing, this is actually allowing you to add this product out into an open marketplace. And then here I've got my credit card processing set up and PayPal. So once I set that up originally, I never have to mess with that again. Let's see here. What else do we need here? Okay, so once you fill it all in, you hit confirm. Let's see. Okay, so now we're let's save and next. Then it takes us to pricing. And this is really cool too. Do you just want a one-time payment, or do you want a recurring payment? Do you want a limited number of installments? Do you want recurring installments? So you just basically put that in and put the price in. And if you want to enable an initial payment, if you're going to have sequences and all that, pretty easy stuff here. And then you can add.
Charge for emailing, like so you're on a list, like you know, whatever the other email companies are. I've forgotten. Is that the way that works?
Oh, if you want to add this to another email list?
If you want to send emails, okay, Kartra sends it and you pay Kartra for a bulk email, or how does that work?
Yeah, you can do your bulk email right directly through Kartra. So here you set up your you know, your product page if you want it to be a Kartra page, which page you want. Confirm. And then your thank you page. Put a thank you page in there. Confirm that.
So how does that compare to AWeber? Do they charge like AWeber? Is it?
With Kartra, you get, depending on the level of package that you're on, you get a certain amount of email that you can send, which they give you quite a bit. It's like, I think the minimum one is, or the package I'm on, the silver package, I think it's like 125,000 emails a month. It's a lot. So not too much to worry about there. So then your checkout, you know, you can do a Kartra hosted checkout page. You can change that if you want to send it to a specific one. You know, again, just some basic configuration stuff here that you can turn on and off, whatever you want to do. Post sale. Now here's where you can add them to a customer list. You can tag them based on what they just purchased. And then accessing the products, basically here you can say, are you sending them to a Kartra membership? Are you sending them to an integrated membership? Is it a downloadable file? Or is it no access? Then you're basically going to send them this product via the mail. And then you can add advanced automations, and that's where I showed you before, if then this, you know, if this, then that. So basically, once you go through here and you confirm everything, it will give you the save and next. And now it takes you to the affiliate. If you want to offer affiliate sales on this to your affiliates, and you can set that up right here too. You know, if you want to change, you can say, I want to activate affiliate program, and you can set here how you want to do it. So it's a $20 one-time payment. You can set a sales commission of a percentage or a fixed amount, and that's how much your affiliates will get. If you have a JV broker, you can set the affiliate commission for the JV broker that's managing your affiliates. It's like, this thing's pretty freaking awesome. And then once, you know, once you're done with that, you confirm everything. Yeah, hit save and next, and you're pretty well finished. And then it gives you a link here. So that's the code that you could add to basically any page to sell this product. It's also available now as a product in your Kartra. So if you're editing a page or creating a page, you could just simply click and add this product. It'll have buy buttons and all that stuff because we just created it.
So John, now that you've created all this value on this product, what does it cost?
The Kartra itself?
Yeah.
If you guys are interested in it, basically you can go to internetdominators.com/Kartra, Kartra, and it will take you to my affiliate page. And I'm gonna stop the video. It's gonna start here. And basically you can get a $1 trial. And I think you get 2 weeks for the $1. Yeah, you get 14 days for the $1, and then basically you decide, and let me see if they've still got the special that
campaigns and funnels too.
Yeah, when you look through all of the stuff that this does, it'll just blow your mind, all the stuff that it does here. Let's see. Okay, so here we go. Yeah, they are offering still the price cut. So the starter is $89 a month. This is for up to 2,500 leads. This is the one that I got because on the starter, they don't give you any kind of a discount moving forward. If you do the silver package, they're basically giving you 25% off on an ongoing basis. So you can have 12,500 leads. You can send up to 125,000 emails a month. You can create unlimited pages, unlimited products, unlimited help desks. You can have up to 3 custom domains, unlimited dynamic follow-up sequences. The cool thing, in all of the web pages, they don't charge you any bandwidth. The only time they charge you bandwidth, or they track that for you, is through video. So when you're using their video hosting, which I absolutely love because you can know everything about what's going on with your videos, and you get 125 gigs of video bandwidth per month included in the price, which that's a lot. That's a lot of video usage. They don't charge you anything for page visits, automations, membership sites. You can have as many as you want. So, and then if you go over, it's a very minimal amount. Like, let's say you went over on your bandwidth on videos, it's just, you know, it's pennies per gig, literally. So that's what I would recommend getting into the silver level if you're at all serious about it, because you're going to lock in the discount, and it gives you a considerable amount more than the minimum one here. So that's the cost of what Kartra cost. Now I'll tell you what it saved me. I'm paying $149 here. It saved me $99 a month for Clickfunnels. So if you look at it that way, it's only costing me $50 a month. It also saved me, I canceled my wistia account, which my wistia account was about $150 a month for my video bandwidth I was doing through wistia. So if you look at it that way, I'm saving $100 now based on just those 2 products. That doesn't include all the rest of the stuff I got to cancel because Kartra is doing everything for me. You know, if you've got autoresponders, anything you're paying for as far as any of that stuff goes, you can just cancel it. So I'm probably saving a few $100s a month now with all the stuff I was able to cancel, and I absolutely love working with this program. So it's pretty cool stuff. So, and I didn't really mean to take up the whole call with, you know, with Kartra. I'm happy to do, you know, specific Kartra calls with you guys if you get into it and you want help getting it set up, and you know, I'm happy to do that for you. So anyway, other questions, or, you know, if there's more information you want about Kartra, I'm always happy to take this call wherever you guys want it. So, Russ, go ahead.
Hey, John, how you doing?
Good.
Nice Kartra demo.
Yeah, I usually don't get that excited about other people's products, but
No, you don't.
I'm pretty stoked about it. I'm sure you can tell.
I can tell. If you like it, it must be good.
Yeah, I mean, I got so excited yesterday when I was looking at it on my phone. My homepage has never looked that good on a mobile device.
No, it does look good.
Yeah,
You're getting professional, my friend.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
So my question is, I finally have my article written, so I'm trying to promote my beach umbrella for skin cancer patients.
Okay.
So what would be the best process to promote a new product after I get the article created?
Okay, so what's the goal of the article? Does the article have a call to action at the end of it? Kind of give me the rundown of what you're thinking.
So it talks about putting your mind at ease, being on the beach, relaxing, you know, being safe, being protected. It's a new product that the market is unaware of, and there will be a call to action at the end. You know, click here for more information, or to purchase, go here.
Okay.
So how do I get that out to the masses?
Okay, so basically what you have is you have one piece of the sequence.
Right.
So the way that this would work is the first thing on any ad campaign, no matter, you know, what you're doing or how you're doing it, the first piece that's going to determine whether it's effective is going to be the big idea. The big idea is the forward-facing thing that's going to attract people in. It's going to draw them in and get them to consume. You have a piece of content that they need to consume, but to get them to consume it, we need to draw them in and grab their attention. So that's going to be your big idea. That's where your headlines are going to come from. That's where your, you know, that's where you're going to draw your attention in to get people to consume your article. Whether you're doing a Facebook ad or you're doing a YouTube video, or, you know, wherever you're advertising it, that is going to be based around that big idea. You know, that's going to create your headline. That's going to create your draw, your call to action to get them to consume the content. You know, next is the delivery of the content. The content should basically be in tune with their desired outcome that's wrapped around that big idea. And the whole idea of the content delivery is to create demand and desire and eliminate any objections. So when you create demand and desire for a product and you eliminate objections, basically a sale is imminent. So at that point, all you have to do is make the offer. You know, you don't have to go into a big sales pitch. It's basically if they want it and they don't have any objection to it, it's just making an offer. It's like, here's the deal, guys. We have so many of these. They're this price. How many do you want? And then that takes them to your sales page. You convert the order.
Okay.
So for you, it should be pretty simple. I mean, you've got a very easy offer. You know, it's a straight up offer. It's, hey, here's the product, here's the price. If you create the demand and desire and eliminate, you know, whatever objections that they might have, that goes back to your avatar. You know, in the creation of your avatar, you need to figure out who it is exactly that you're talking to. And, you know, your umbrella basically would serve a tremendous amount of different audiences. So the success of this campaign is going to be based on how specific you are to any one of those audiences. You know, if you're going after specifically mothers that are interested in cancer prevention for their small child, their infants, that's a specific language. You're going to target them specifically. They're going to have a desired outcome. They're going to have different emotions and things to pull on the heartstrings. You know, if you've got elderly people that are interested in, you know, not developing cancer and the skin cancer, you know, that's a very specific market. So again, you can see the big idea is very specific to a market. That avatar is specific to that segment, that sequence.
So does that all have to do with the advertising of the Facebook ad, and they all point back to that same article?
Absolutely. The article could potentially be the same article, but it's going to be how you draw them in. And you might even want to change the article up slightly to speak the language specifically of who you're talking to. So
how about if I wanted to have an article out there someplace that people would just be able to access other than my blog? Like, how would I find someone that could promote it for me?
Where would you put it?
Yeah.
Well, what you could do, if you've got an affiliate offer, you can offer it up to affiliates to put it out on their blogs. You could track down like some major bloggers. Are you trying to do it without any cost, or is that?
I'm trying to find bloggers or people in that space that can promote something helpful to their audience. And the question is, how do I find that particular group of people that can promote it onto their site?
And I'll tell you that's one way to go, but that's a very hobbyist look at how to market and promote your product.
Okay.
I would really be looking at how do we force this? You know, how do we grow this thing exponentially? How do we get control? And the way you do that is by identifying markets that you can purchase customers. You know, if you say, let's say there's you know, just for sake of numbers, let's say there's $100 in the sale. There's $100 profit in the sale. And, you know, that may or may not be the case, but I'm just using numbers here. If there's $100 profit in the sale of any given item, and you can go out and you can purchase a customer for less than the $100, let's say, you know, $50 worth of advertising, and we can make a $100 profit sale. We're basically, for every dollar of ad we put in, we get $2 back. So that's really the goal as marketers, is to figure out what our numbers are. You know, how much profit is in the product, and how much does it cost us to purchase a sale? And when we have those numbers, then we can scale up. We can force the issue, and at that point, you can say, hey, you know, I want an extra $10,000 a month salary, so this is how many customers I have to purchase this month to make that happen. That's a business way to look at it, not a hobbyist way to look at it.
Okay, so that gives you how you would advertise, but how do you find the places to advertise?
Well, that's a matter of figuring out, you know, who you're targeting. When you get that specific segment, who are they? Where are they hanging out? You know, like if it was mothers, you know, they're hanging out all over Facebook. You can target them specifically by areas, by if they're near a beach, if they're near, you know, lake shores, places where they're going to be taking their children. You know, target them by annual income. Again, you want to be marketing to people that can afford your product and are willing to pay for your product. So if you've got enough value, like I would certainly think a mother with an infant, that would be high value to protect that baby. That'd be pretty high value. So I don't think you have a problem there. So their willingness to pay for the product is not going to be an issue. Their ability to pay for the product, you can target them specifically by income. So you can get very laser focused in your advertising and your ad spend. You want to make sure that you don't spend money on advertising to people that can't afford your product or are not willing to purchase your product. So, and wherever that may be, if it's, maybe it's younger mothers, maybe it's these millennial mothers that are, the younger generation, and they don't like Facebook. They're on the other stuff. They're on Snapchat and, all these other millennial social places that I'm not in tune with.
Right.
But you got to figure that out. You have to figure out where is your market, where are they hanging out, and that's where you want to bring your ad to them. YouTube is a great place. And you said a key thing there. This is for people that are unaware. They might be unaware of the problem, and they might be unaware of the product. That there's, if they're unaware of the problem, they're unaware of the solution, obviously. So figuring out where they are, and then bringing that big idea to them in that place, in that arena, and you'll grab their attention, and then the big idea will hook them, get them to click to consume your content. And that's where you deliver your message. That's where you create the demand and desire and eliminate the objections.
So if the marketing is bringing them back to a page or blog page on a website, and there's enough clicks there, eventually it'll attract Google's attention and see that people are clicking on it. Look at the keywords that are associated with the title, the headline, all that good stuff, and bring more traffic to the site.
Yep, absolutely. So that's an additional benefit that you get from purchasing customers, is you get attention onto your website that Google pays attention to. That is like one of the best factors to get Google's attention these days that there is. If your site is driving traffic, especially from outside Google, they look at that and they don't want to get left out. If they say, hey, these other people are sending traffic to that site, it must be important. We don't want to cheat our users out of something that's good. So let's send our people there too.
Right.
They want to jump on the bandwagon.
What was that tool that you had that went out and found influencers? Was it BuzzSumo or Trend Dominator or something like that?
No, actually, that's a product called Authority Spy.
Authority Spy.
Yeah, there's a link to it on the resources section.
Okay.
And that's a great product. It's not very expensive. I think it's under $100.
Okay.
You can get that, and basically you can run searches for different industries, and it will tell you like who are all the top bloggers, who are the the top influencers in that particular market.
Okay.
And if you want to do the grassroots effort and you want to attack it that way without spending a bunch of money on advertising, that's a great tool to follow that. But I really, for all of you, I would really encourage you, I wouldn't discourage you from doing that at all, but I would encourage you on the other side to go ahead and force the issue and figure out your numbers and get this to where you can actually scale your business predictably.
And that's by advertising.
Yeah. Knowing your numbers, knowing what it costs to acquire a customer. And, in some cases, you might not have enough profit in a particular product that you want to sell to spend much money to acquire the customer. And that's okay. You can actually spend more money than the profit if you've got a back end to make that up. You can't go in the hole forever, but like if, let's say your beginning item, you sell a $10 item and it costs you $20 to sell the item, you're in the hole $10 right out of the gate. But that is going to lead them to a higher sale in 30 days. Let's say it's a trial product and, they get to the end of the 30 days and they're going to love it and they're going to want to buy, the next month, and then your pure profit there. that can make sense. That's why it's really important to know your business and know your numbers. Know what the profit is on your client acquisition, know what your profit is long term, like I call it lifetime value of your prospect. When you get a customer, what's their lifetime value? Not just what they're going to pay you today, but what they're going to pay you tomorrow and the next day and the next year. And how long will they be in your funnel? So that's important to know.
Right.
If you look at what's the big company, Agora? You look at Agora Publishing. They do $1 billion a year selling informational products, and they go in the hole for up to 6 months. They know their numbers. They know they can go negative for 6 months to acquire a customer, but they know on the 7th month they're profitable. And think about that. Think about the competition. If you could afford to go in the hole for 6 months to eliminate the competition, who are you going to have to compete with you? Nobody. It's like he who can purchase the most customers is going to win in this game. If you can purchase the most customers, you can eliminate the competition. And I know that sounds a little far-fetched, where most of us are, but it really is true. It's true in business. The digital marketer guys, Perry Belcher, he uses example after example after example. They drill that into your head of, whoever can spend the most to acquire customers is going to win the game of business. Because there's just a lot of truth in it. It's undisputable. It's a big leap, and some people look at it as a big risk and a big gamble, but it depends on what are your odds and whether you make that bet. If you can stack the odds in your favor and you got a 96% chance of winning, I think most people would bet. They'd place that bet in Vegas. I think so. If you had, on the other hand, if you had a 96% chance of losing, and that's basically you've got no plan, and that's basically no plan is a 96% chance of losing. Would you place that bet in Vegas? Probably not. So if you're hesitant on advertising because you don't have a plan, then your instincts are right, and you shouldn't place that bet. But if you have a plan and you figured out your avatar and you've got the messaging right, you can buy those leads and you can convert them, then you're in the place where I would make that bet. It's in the plan.
Right.
If you've got a plan of attack and it's solid and you feel good about it, then I would say, yeah, you're in that place where you should probably bet on that.
Okay. Sounds good.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, for all of you guys that think you're in that, let me look at it first. Before you go and you do an ad spend, let me look at it. I've had so many people that have done that and they come back crying because they spent all this money and it didn't work. And I look at it and I said, yeah, that was not a good bet.
Look at what, the article, or look at the advertising?
The whole thing, the ad sequence, the campaign.
Okay.
Before you spend money to advertise it, let me look at it first for you.
Will you do that?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. That's what I'm here for. That's what you guys have me for, anything you need me for on these calls.
Okay.
So yeah, absolutely.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Yeah. And anywhere, if you need help on first steps to get to that point, again, hop on here. Let's get her done. All right, guys. Anything else? Is there any other questions or anything for today before we wrap up?
Are we out of time?
Not if you got a question.
Okay, so I want to start a new business, and I have this concept of a simplified solution to relationship failure, and it's more of a service thing, and I'm kind of in the visibility step right now, not
Okay.
really kind of the first step towards moving towards client attraction and monetizing. I just kind of want to get my visibility concept down. So I thought, since you have a great brain, maybe I'll just run this by you. Whatever you say, that's probably helpful.
Sure.
So is about a simplified solution to relationship failure, providing just 3 communication practices that put the controls for the outcome in my listeners' own hands so that they can feel secure, being vulnerable and loving again, and taking control and building loving relationships with a compatible partner so that the only option is no longer to stumble onto a loving relationship. My avatars, the audience, are people who are afraid to love again, wanting to rediscover trust, and looking for a safe way to take their heart out of the freezer. And I was thinking of doing a podcast as a way to present that information.
Okay.
And I need to build a website around that. So this.
Okay. Well, it
kind of sounds interesting. So
yeah,
anyway,
I think
anything that comes to your mind, I'm happy to hear.
sure. I think what you got to do, you got to work on a couple of things there. You got to work on the messaging.
Okay.
Because the way you brought that across wasn't very warm and fuzzy. It wasn't like I wasn't getting the idea of, oh, I got to have that. I can't live without that.
Okay. I
And
think
the only
book
way
I
to
wrote is a lot more warm and fuzzy because I was told that too in the book, and I rewrote it like 4 times. I can get it warm and fuzzy. So, but I know what you mean. Yeah.
yeah. It really has to be in tune with how they're currently feeling and what they really want.
Okay.
If you get those 2 things down, and then on the front end of this, you've got to wrap this around a big idea. A big idea
Right.
is going to be the one thing that grabs their attention. And the only way you're going to get that, those ideas don't just come off the top of your head. Those come out of your market research of who you're dealing with, how they're feeling, what keeps them up at night, all of that analysis first off of your avatar. So
I've done quite a bit of that already too. Yeah.
Yeah, and and again, it depends if you're looking at men and women, because men and women have completely different outlooks on the world. They have completely different, desires and desired outcomes and all of that stuff, and they speak a different language, as you probably know.
So I would do 2 I would approach each one from a different
Yeah.
campaign, right?
Yeah, exactly. When you're figuring out your avatar, you want to figure out what segment of the market that they're from. And again, I always go to the most profitable segment first, and to identify whether that's a profitable segment, you got to look at 3 things. The first thing is the market big enough? Is this segment big enough to support my sales goals? And second, do they have the ability to pay? Or are they in a position where they could pay the amount of money that you want for your product? And lastly, is there enough value there that their willingness to pay is there? So they have to have the ability to pay and the willingness to pay. Those 2 things have to both exist. And of course, the size of the market. There has to be enough of them to make this worth your while.
Right.
And once you figure that out in that particular segment, if all those 3 things exist, you pretty much have a green light to move forward. If you don't, if you got a red light there, if any one of those 3 don't exist, then you got to rethink things. You've got to say, okay, what other market could I go after that these 3 things exist? So once you get the green light to move forward from there, now you have your avatar. Your avatar comes out of there.
Okay.
And then your big idea is going to come out of that avatar. So it's really important that you keep that sequence in place and they're done in order. It's so often I see everybody jumps ahead and they start creating stuff, but they haven't really got that down, that sequence, and that's where your success is going to come from. That's where you're going to be in the 96% chance of success, and that's worth betting on.
So in my arena here, I mean, I'm just trying to grasp what the big idea piece of it is, you know?
And
Like,
again,
is it
if you don't have the first, if you don't have the first pieces, getting the grasp on the big idea is really hard, because like I said,
where they say what keeps me up at night, that's the big idea piece.
See, yeah, a lot of times it will be closely related there.
I get it. Okay.
If it's not something that they truly care about, it's probably not going to be a big idea. And
so
the
if
only
I
way
can
to
just
know
narrow
that,
down and answer the question, what keeps them up at night?
uh-huh.
And I say, okay, loneliness, for example, might be an answer, or fear of loss in some way, you know, so might be the answer. So how does that translate into a big idea? Do I have to word it a certain way, or is there a certain syntax I have to do? Or
yeah, loneliness is not really, you can't really do a big idea on loneliness, because it's just that's just like, you know, it's like what's causing that, and what's behind that, what's that going to lead to, what's that going to cause.
right.
You know, their real concern is they're going to die alone. Not loneliness is not really the thing that keeps them up at night. It's the idea of dying alone is what keeps them up at night.
See how good you are at honing in on more specific. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what about fear of loss? If that's not a,
well, fear of loss of what? Again, it's what's really there.
The family, the status, you know, getting into a new relationship can be very scary once you feel you've been burned, because on the last pass, you lost your house, you lost your kids, you lost your status, you lost a whole bunch of money and alimony and child support. And, you know, there's a whole loss factor there that just goes, whoa, I don't want to do that again.
Yeah, and again, you got to get the same, you know, the same question of what's really on the other side of that. You know, what's, you know, like the loneliness. On the other side of that is the ultimate fear of dying alone. You know, loss, you can always get stuff back, but if they don't, what's the ultimate outcome that they are scared to death of? You know, that's, and I don't really have the answer for you like I did with the loneliness. That one I just.
What about being portrayed in society as a failure?
Significance, that is a big driver.
Significance, okay.
Yeah, you'll find significance at the root of a lot of things that keep people up at night.
Okay, that's a good one.
So that, you know, that I think is probably more of a primary driver than the fear of loss.
So go back to the 6 primary drivers of that there's some study that brings up what the 6 core or 7, whatever it is.
Yeah. And actually, one of the videos that I did in inside the ACT training, I actually go through and detail those. Oh. So that might be something to look at as well. And but yeah, that's, you're definitely on to the right thought process there. And again, the only way you can really get to that is by knowing truly knowing the avatar. You know, because men are going to have that significance much more than women. So if you're dealing with men and they've lost that feeling of significance, when you take that away from a man, that hurts way more than you take it away from a woman. Because women have different, like if you take the kids away from a woman, that's like tearing her heart out. Whereas that's not really going to tear the heart out of a man. It's the significance of being the role model is going to hurt him more than taking the kids away. It's not the loss of the kids itself, I think, that's going to hurt him as much as the loss of the significance of being the leader and having the kids look up to him. You know, having her put the kids against him, and that's more of a pain point, I think, than even taking them away. Having her pit them against him. So, you know, again, you gotta really get to the nitty gritty of where this all leads, and you know, what's the ultimate thing that's really like, oh God, I don't want to go there.
Well, just separating getting the information from you to think a little farther about separating the avatar into two.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like male problem, female problem, and then also realizing that the big idea really isn't the big idea. It's a little deeper.
Yeah.
It was more than I had before I started this call. So
yeah. Oh, perfect. Yeah, that's the sequence. That's the process that you want to be working with, to make sure that, you know, when you start creating your copy and all that stuff, it's all going to line up with where you want to go. You know, you're way better off to get the big idea. When you follow it in sequence, you'll find that it becomes easier. Everything becomes easier. If you're in a marketing campaign and things are hard and they're not clicking and things are not working the way you think they should, you're probably out of sequence. Mm. You know, it's like once you have that big idea, that drives the next thing. And then that drives the next thing, and that drives the content, and that drives, you know, everything. Yeah. It's one leads to the next. It's when you get ahead and you're now creating stuff that's based on no foundation, and then that's where things get off the rails and you feel lost, and it's not like fitting together right.
Yeah. But it's good to know that even when you think you have the foundation, you might not.
Yeah, I deal with business owners every day that they're like that. They think they got it, and I look at their results and I'm like, your results are not telling me that you got it.
But I don't want to step out there like you were saying earlier and flop on it and have to come back and rework it. I'd rather just get it right the first time.
Yeah, and you're never going to get it perfect. You've got to get it good enough and make the first step. You can always sharpen your sword, but I do want you to have every advantage out of the gate. So I do want you working on a solid foundation. But you don't get the idea that it's got to be perfect, because if that's the case, you'll never do anything. You'll never get it done. You'll never get it out there. And I see a lot of people get stuck there. You know, they second guess themselves, and that process can spin on forever. And that's, you know, you gotta get it into testing mode to see if it's going to work for you. So just give it best effort, you know, and then give it a whirl and see what happens.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. My pleasure. All right. Anything else before we wrap it up for today? All right, guys. Well, have a great week. And if you think of anything between now and then, shoot me an email, and I'll see if I can get you up to speed. All right, guys. See you next week.